gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So this one should be fun. The Minnesota Vikings, it seems like outside of Minnesota Vikings fans, people are completely baffled by what they're doing. NFL fans, but more so NFL media, NFL reporters, journalists, whatever. I was reading a silly meme, man. I was reading a Bleacher Report article earlier today, and they were like describing one word for every team's offseason thus far. And the word they used for the Minnesota Vikings was counterproductive. And the logic was, if you're going to move on from Kirk Cousins and Danielle Hunter, you might as well reset. Instead, you bring in Jonathan Greenard and Aaron Jones? Question mark. Pick a lane, Vikes. Hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Now, what's crazy is this was after the Minnesota Vikings made a move to acquire the 23rd overall pick and a 2024 7th round pick from the Houston Texans in exchange for a future second and a second and whatever the Minnesota. You get what I'm saying? Not whatever. You get it, right? So Minnesota clearly lost Kirk Cousins in free agency. They signed Sam Darnold to a 1-year, $10 million contract, and everybody, not Vikings fans, are losing their absolute minds. They're losing their minds. Minnesota is building something sustainable. They are building something for the long term because I'm so glad you asked. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and a healthy TJ Hawkinson, when those three are healthy, they are one of the best offensive cores in the entire National Football League. Kirk Cousins, unfortunately, is just old. He's just at the tail end of his career. And so we're going to be talking about everything Minnesota in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We're pumping Vikes videos out right now. You guys are showing an unbelievable amount of love. I appreciate you guys so much. Seriously, thank you so much. If we try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So I think J.J. McCarthy will end up as a Minnesota Viking. I do just want to say watch out for the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton for, potentially making a move like that. Minnesota has 2 first-round picks right now. It's very clear to me that they are going to make some type of move for a quarterback. Now, folks, I saw something very interesting on the herd today, and it was about J.J. McCarthy and Kirk Cousins in college, in their final 2 years in college. Kirk Cousins at Michigan State, 22-5 record, 65% completion percentage, 227 yards per game, passing yards, 45 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. J.J. McCarthy, his last 2 seasons, 27-1, 68.5 completion percentage, about 200 passing yards per game, and a touchdown to interception ratio of 44-9. He is cheap. He is young and he is mobile. And I would imagine if Kirk Cousins wasn't, 35, 36 years old, he would still be a Minnesota Viking. The unfortunate aspect for the Vikings is Kirk Cousins got injured at the exact time that the Minnesota Vikings turned around their slow start to the season. They were coming off a 13-4 season where they unfortunately lost to the New York Giants in the wild card round. But the point still stands. You are sustaining winning for the long term. Kirk Cousins, unfortunately, man, is just too old at this point in his career. And Minnesota has caught the injury bug just in such a weird, interesting fashion this past season and in the last 2 seasons specifically. But you have an offensive-minded head coach in Kevin O'Connell. You have so many weapons. I don't think, because Kirk only played, 8 games last season, I don't think people really understand what Minnesota has done. Justin Jefferson, clearly the best wide receiver in the NFL, but he got injured for a large chunk of last season, right? When Jordan Addison was in his rookie season last year, you only saw 8 games with Kirk Cousins. So you had an injured Justin Jefferson, you had an injured Kirk Cousins, so Jordan Addison's rookie season is flying under the radar. TJ Hawkinson, underrated, undercovered, just underrespected in general. Unfortunately, he did get injured. He might not be ready to go by week 1, but the point still stands. When that big 3 is healthy, they are so young and they are so talented that they just need a quarterback for the future. So as opposed to paying a 35, 36-year-old Kirk Cousins 40 freaking million, over $40 million a year, not saying that was a bad move by Atlanta in any facet, but like Minnesota is just younger, right? They're just a younger team. They have all these young weapons that they don't need to do like a 1 year type of, let's go all in and win the Super Bowl here, and then we're effed for the future because Kirk Cousins is, going to be 40 in a couple of years, right? Quarterback game managers get such a bad rap, and it makes no sense to me. That's like the big knock with JJ McCarthy, folks. I saw like such a great trade the other day. It was with Arizona. I think it was simply the 2 first-round picks that Minnesota has this year, pick number 11 and what is it, 23, for number 4 from Arizona to select JJ McCarthy. The issue people have with JJ is that he's a game manager, which Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, like it doesn't matter, and that it's a reach. But even in reaching terms, Kevin O'Connell and this offensive weapon unit, it's just a different situation. And I don't really like the game manager take in general because, when you say, oh, this quarterback's a game manager, Brock Purdy just made the Super Bowl. Like, there are QBs like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Like, these are maybe not Jalen Hurts last season, but you get what I'm saying. Like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. These are players who are like needle movers, best in the entire planet quarterbacks that are still having trouble getting to the promised land. And to my recollection, none of those 3 quarterbacks have even a Super Bowl ring. So you can reset your quarterback clock. You can go young. You can go cheap. You can go more mobile than a 35, 36-year-old Kirk Cousins. It might take a year. This upcoming season might be inconsistent. It's not like the Minnesota Vikings, especially their roster, is going to, turn around it's not like they're going to be 3-14 next season if they trade up for the 4th picks to select JJ McCarthy, right? And then even on the Jonathan Greener for Danielle Hunter move, once again, we just go back to like this team was 13-4 2 years ago when Kirk got injured last season. Danielle Hunter's making a ton of money over in Houston now, but Jonathan Greener is 26 years old, coming off a career season in kind of like his first year, healthy year in being a full-time starter. 52 tackles, career high, 12 and a half sacks, career high, and 22 total quarterback hits. Aaron Jones, it's hard for me to like even go back on that Bleacher Report article and like nitpick it because it's so like redacted. It's like, Aaron Jones, pick a lane. What do you mean? Like Alexander Mattison was a failure. And I don't mean him, him as a player is a failure, but him being the starting running back 1 year removed from Dalvin Cook, it was a failure. So what do you need to do? You need to bolster the damn running back room. So you go out there, you get a versatile playmaker. My former starting running back on my Green Bay Packers and Aaron Jones. I still have an intriguing pick in Ty Chandler, who had a really good end to last season. Like, it's just baffling to me that people don't understand. Just because Minnesota probably isn't getting Caleb Williams, and just because they're probably not getting Jaden Daniels, it doesn't mean that they're going to be this dog crap team next season. Like, they're going to be good. It might not be next season, but if they hit on their quarterback, and I think it's going to be JJ McCarthy, you're going to be good for a very long time, dude. So Vikings fans know this. And that's it for today's rant. Hope you guys enjoyed Friday's rant. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and let me know your thoughts on the current state of the Minnesota Vikings down below.